all you kids down there, I was once a child with a dream, looking up to the stars. Now I'm an adult in a spaceship with lots of other wonderful adults looking down to our beautiful, beautiful Earth. To the next generation of dreamers, if we can do this, just imagine what you can do. Yay!
Was it everything you envisioned it would be?
Everything I'd envisioned it would be, and 1,000 times better. I mean, it's absolutely impossible to describe it unless you're actually doing it. And I hope we can get thousands and thousands of people to be able to experience what we experienced today. And it was fun. I mean, it was just an extraordinary experience. You know, from one extreme to the other, and you know, from going up attached to Eve, named after my mum. You know, being dropped from that mothership, the roar of the rocket as we headed off from 0 to 3,000 miles an hour in 8 seconds, to getting into space and the complete silence, the complete beauty outside, the wonderful colours. You know, I practiced this speech talking to the kids back down here, and then just at the end of it, just unbuckling and then just taking off and floating and looking out through these enormous windows at our beautiful Earth with a wonderful team of people. And it just, everything couldn't have gone better. And then obviously coming back into the Earth, where you've got the shuddering of the spaceship, which you've always read about and heard about on re-entry. Just the most incredible experience of my lifetime.
Do you know that there are times in the years leading up to it, I was wondering whether the body would cope and so on. The moment I realised the body was going to cope, I just enjoyed every minute of it, and it was it was a dream from teenage years come true, and we had a blast.
It is, I mean, it is indescribable. It's up to us to make space available, so many of you, when you grow up, are able to go there. We launched a raffle today to enable people to go into space, and you might think, as kids, why should I join in a raffle? Well, if you can persuade your parents or your grandparents to give you a raffle ticket, when you're 18, if you win, then you and a friend will be able to go to space. So it's an exciting, I think, opportunity for people around the world, which has never existed before.
This flight was 17 years in the making, with 800 wonderful engineers. So it wasn't risky in the same way that ballooning or boating was. It was quite magnificent, and it's a dream. It was just a dream come true for all of us, just being able to create a space line that hopefully quite a few of the people who are watching this show one day will go up on and become astronauts. And Peter Pan was my favorite character as a kid, flying in the spacecraft, seeing Sarisha below flying alongside me. I mean, it was magnificent. I always envisioned as a kid that a spaceship should look like this.
Yeah. You did. You envisioned this when you were a kid.
I just thought that's how you should fly to space.
As a teenager, when I watched the moon landing, my dad took me outside and we looked up to the moon and with my sisters, and he just said, "There are 2 people standing on the moon right now," and it was it was so inspirational. But one of the sad things is we've all been looking backwards to those sorts of flights, and I think now kids can start looking forwards to the chance of actually going to space themselves one day, and hopefully we can contribute to that.
For the first few years, it's going to be expensive because we've got a lot of bills to pay, and there are a lot of people out there who would be willing to pay it. But in the years to come, as we get more and more spaceships, the price will come down. In the meantime, we've just launched something through a maze, which is a global raffle for 2 people to be able to have a chance to go up to space. And the money that people actually pay into the raffle will enable a whole lot more people to be able to go to space. So what I'm hoping is that we can actually get tens, if not hundreds of people to be able to go to space who could never have dreamt of being able to go to space.
And if you win, I will take you around the spaceport. I'll do one of those chocolate factory walkabouts. I'll put on all the gear, and then the $10 will amount up, and hopefully, if enough people enter, we'll be able to then have the charitable foundation find many people who can actually go to space for nothing. And I think that, this is something which could be really exciting in the years to come.
The wonderful thing about going to space on a Virgin Galactic spaceship is that the environmental cost is no more than going to London to New York and back on a Virgin Atlantic plane. So, and I think we can get that even better. Space is transformative for things back here on Earth. I mean, I'm not sure whether this is a live program, but if it is, it's almost definitely going via space. Connecting the world. Monitoring rainforests, all these things that Virgin Orbit is doing. I mean, on this flight, we had a whole lot of experiments going on, as well as experiencing flight ourselves.
Space is connecting the billions of people who are not connected, on telephones, on other things. Space is every single spaceship that we sent, whether it's Virgin Orbit, which we launched a week before, into orbit, putting satellites up there and monitoring different things around the world, like the degradation of rainforests, or monitoring food distribution, or even monitoring things like climate change and so on. These things are essential for us back here on Earth. So we need more spaceships going up to space. We don't need less.
The what next? As I said earlier, I think I'm an optimist. The next 30 years of my life will be devoted to doing, to an extent, what I've been doing the last 20 years, and that is we have a foundation that does great things for oceans and rainforests and the climate change. Anyway, a whole variety of things, and that's what I'll mainly be devoting my time to. Whether I will do another adventure, I'm not sure it'll be fair to put my family through another one. Whether it's, I think I've got the record for being pulled out of the sea 5 times by helicopters. So I think maybe I'll definitely give it a rest for the time being.